pure mathematics question paper, May June 20, question paper 1-2. So let's begin. In first of all, we have the question: the function f is defined by fx is equal to 1 by 3x plus 2 plus x square plus x is less than -1. So to determine whether f is an increasing function or decreasing function or neither. So to determine whether f is an increasing function or a decreasing function, let's find out the first derivative and let's see what the first derivative is. So to find the first derivative, we can do y is equal to 1 by 3x plus 2. After which we can write dy by dx. Let's differentiate on both sides. Before differentiating, let's write it in a proper manner. It will be 3x plus 2 to the power minus 1. Right, so differentiating on both sides, we get dy by dx is equals to, so we know it's in the form of we need to apply chain rule as well. So we know that the chain rule states that if we differentiate f of g of x, then its differentiation will be equal to f dash with respect to gx, and then after we have to multiply it by g dash x. So in this case, we can take the fx as this the whole function. So let's take it as a whole function and differentiate with respect to 3x plus 2. So we will get nx n minus 1. We know the formula is nx to the power n minus 1. So what we can do is we can multiply by minus 1 into 3x plus 2 to the power of minus 1 minus 1, right? And then after multiplying, because of the chain rule, we have to differentiate the inner function. So the differentiation of 3x plus 2, we know it's simple 3. Right, so this is going to be equal to minus 1 3x plus 2 to the power of minus 2 into 3. So this is going to be equal to minus 3 over 3x plus 2 whole square. So what we can know from this is, so we are doing for x is less than -1. So no matter what the value of the x, we know that 3x plus 2 is always going to be positive. So we are dividing -3 with some positive quantity, and we know when a negative quantity is divided with some positive quantity, we get an overall of negative quantity, right? So since dy by dx is always negative, we know that this is a decreasing function, right? So we can write, therefore since dy by dx is always negative for x is less than -1, fx is a decreasing function. Yeah, easy as that. So the first question was pretty easy. It was a decreasing function, right? So let me erase all the formulas that I have written. So this is erased, and then after this as well. So let's move on to next question pretty quick. So what we have next question is, the graph of y of x is transformed to graph of y is equal to 1 plus f of half x. So we need to describe the two single transformation which have been combined to give the resulting transformation, right? So what we can see is the graph while moving from fx to this graph. So first of all, the graph has been moved 1 units to the upper 1 units up, and then after we can see that the graph has been stretched vertically horizontally with a stretch factor of 2, because whenever we stretch horizontally, we know that it divides in the x, it's just opposite. So first of all, we can start from we can go from either way, but I'm going to start with the upper shift first. So the graph of y is equals to fx was first translated by a translation vector of 0, 1, translated by a translation vector of 0, 1 to move the graph 1 units upward. So this can be written as, or what happened is fx has been translated by a translation vector of 0, 1 to get 1 plus fx, right? And then after, what we can see is it has been stretched in the vertically parallel to x-axis by a stretch factor of half. After that, the graph has been stretched horizontally by a stretch factor of by a stretch factor of 2 to get the required graph. Y is equal to 1 plus f of half x. So I think it should be pretty clear what has been done. So 1 plus fx has been stretched by 2 in x-axis direction to get 1 plus f of half x. So yeah, so let's move on to next question. So the diagram shows the part of the curve with equation y is equal to x square plus 1. The shaded region enclosed by the curve, the y-axis, and the line is rotated 360 about the y-axis. So find the volume obtained. We know the formula for volume obtained when it is rotated about the y-axis is, we know that volume is equal to integration from, we need to integrate from 1 to 5, right? Because these are the starting and the ending points. So integrate from 1 to 5, multiply by pi, and then after we have the equation y is equal to x square plus 1. So we need to do x square, right? So we can say that x square is equal to y minus 1, right? So let's write it properly. So let's move it 2 lines down. So we can write x square is equals to y minus 1, right? So we have to do pi y square dy, right? So we can write pi of x square with respect to y, right? So what do we get is when we integrate pi and then after multiply with pi and then after integrate from 1 to 5, x square is just simply y minus 1 in respect to y. Then after when we multiply, we get the integration of y is going to be y square over 2, and then after the integration of negative 1 is going to be negative y simply. And then after we need to integrate, we need to do it in the range of 5 to 1, right? So let's put the value 5 and 1, and what do we get is pi times y square is going to be 5 square over 2 minus 5, and then after we need to subtract it with 1 square over 2 minus 1, right? So let's simply put it in calculator and let's see. It does, as the question said, exact, no, it hasn't said, so we can write in either decimal or we can write it in fraction form as well. So let me just find out how much the value is. So we need to do 5 square over 2 minus 5 minus of 1 by 2 plus 1, right? So this is going to be 8. So the area is going to be simply 8 pi, right? So we can write 8 pi is 25.13 units square as well. We can write either of the answers. So let me just check the MS. So yeah, we are correct. So I have written this in 4 significant figures. The minimum requirement is 3 significant figures. So you can write it in how many figures as you want. And then after we have the other question, a curve as equation y is equal to x square minus 2x minus 3. So this is the equation of the curve. Then after a point is moving along the curve in such a way that at P the y coordinate is increasing at 4 units per second and the x coordinate is increasing at 6 units per second. So what the question has said is, let me just understand the question properly. So let's say this was the graph, right? Then after at point P, let's say this is the point P, the rate of increase of x coordinate is 6 units per second, and then after a rate of increase of y coordinate is 4 units per second, right? So what information do we have is, let's say that the points are x and y. Then after what has been given is the rate of increase of x with respect to time is going to be 6 units per second, and then after the rate of increase of y with respect to time it's going to be 4 units per second, right? So we know, like when we divide the equation, first equation by second equation, we will get we need to find the x coordinate of P, right? We have the equation of curve as well. So what we need to find is, we need to find let's find dy by dx first, then after we can integrate, then we have let's integrate, and then after we can compare, like, let's find dy by dx first. So to find dy by dx, let's just divide equation 2 by 1. So let's do 2 divided by 1, right? So what do we get is dy by dt, when divided by dx by dt, we are going to get 4 divided by 6. So it's simply going to be dt and dt are going to cancel, and we are going to get dy by dx equals to 4 over 6, right? So we are getting the slope of dy by dx as 4 over 6, and we have been given the equation of y is equal to x square minus 2x plus 3s as well, right? So let's differentiate these as well. So we know that when we differentiate y is equal to x square minus what do we have, x square minus 2x minus 3, 2x minus 3, when we differentiate it, I think everybody knows how to differentiate, right? So we are going to get 2x minus 2, right? So what do we need to do is we need to equate these two values, and let's see what the x coordinate is going to be, right? So let's equate them. So what do we get is 2x minus 2 equals to 4 over 6, right? So let's multiply the equation by 6, then we are going to get 12x minus 6 to the 12 equals to 4. So 12x is going to be 12 plus 4 is 16, and x is going to be 16 over 12. So when this is simplified, 4 equals 16 and 4 3 12. So x coordinate is going to be 4 by 3, and from this x coordinate we can find y is equal to, we know y is equal to x square minus 2x minus what's the equation, minus 3. So we can put the value of x over here, and after 4 over 3 whole square minus 2 into 4 over 3 minus 3. So what we are going to get is, let me just put it in calculator, 4 square over 3 square minus 2 into 4 over 3 minus 3. So we get is it's negative 35 over 9. Am I correct? So do we need to find both x and y coordinates? We only need to find the x coordinate p, so my bad. Anyway, if we had to find the y coordinate as well, so we could have found this way. So let me just erase this because this is just unnecessary, because the question is not asking. So let's say therefore the x coordinate is 4 over 3, right? This is the answer. So let's see another question. We have to solve this trigonometric equation for theta belongs to belongs from 0 to 90 degree, right? So it's for 5 marks. So let's try solving this. Tan theta plus 3 sine theta plus 2 will be equal to, when we multiply it over here, we get 2 tan theta minus 3 to the 6 sine theta plus 2, right? So when we simplify, we get tan theta, and then after this 2 and 2 are going to cancel simply. So we get tan theta equals to 6 plus 3 9 sine theta. I think everyone understands what I have done here. So we get we know that tan theta equals to sine theta over cos theta, so we can write 9 sine theta equals to sine theta over cos theta, and then after we can cancel the sine theta and sine theta, right? As long as they are not 0, right? So as long as they are not 0, we can cancel the sine and sine such that theta is not equal to 0. Or let's not do this, simply let's take either or. Let's not this because this is going to lose us answer, right? So this means that we can take it as 9 sine theta minus sine theta over cos theta equals to 0, right? So let's take sine theta common. We get 9 minus 1 over cos theta equals to 0. So we have two equations, right? Either the sine theta is going to be equals to 0, and this gives theta equals to sine inverse of 0, and we know sine is 0 whenever theta is 0 degrees, right? So we have got one of the answers. Then after, the other answer is going to be given by the other equation, which is 9 minus 1 over cos theta equals to 0, and we are going to get 1 over cos theta equals to 9. Then after, we can write it as cos theta equals to 1 over 9, right? And so when the theta is going to be 1 over 9, let's simply put it in the calculator, cos inverse of 1 over 9, right? And this is going to be cos inverse of 1 by 9. What's the value? 1 over 9. It's going to be 83.62 degrees. So we have two answers. Let me just check it. Yeah, it's correct. I have written in 4 significant figures. Like, let's write it in 3 significant figures, because that's the ideal way of writing any answer, right? So therefore the values of theta are 0 degree and 83.6 degree. Yeah, these are our answers. So let's solve another question now, right? The coefficient of 1 by x in the expansion of this is 720. Find the possible values of the constant a, right? So we need to find the possible values of constant a, means that we are probably going to get a quadratic equation now in solving this. So what do we have is we have this, and we have the coefficient of 1 by x. So we need to find how we are going to get coefficient of 1 by x, right? So we know that 2x, let's write coefficient of 1 by x in 2x plus a over x square. Let's write term in 1 by x, right? That will be better language. Term in 1 over x in is given by power 5. So when are we going to get 1 over x? Let me just think. So if we give this power 3 and this power 2, it's going to be 4 and 3. Yeah, we need to do like that. So what do we need to do is we need to do 5c 3 or 2, it doesn't matter, NCR. Then after we need to do x to the power n minus r, means no, let's write it as 5c2 times x to the power n minus r, means 2x is going to get the power of 5 minus 2, and then after the term a over x square is going to get the power of 3. It's going to get 3. No, like I think I did the wrong thing. It was supposed to be this way. It was going to be 5c3, 5 minus 3, and then after 3 to the no, it was originally correct. I'm sorry, I was just confused. 5 minus 2, and then after it's going to be 2 over here, right? So what does this give us? It gives us, what's the value of 5c2? Let me just find out. I think it's 10, right? It's 10. So it's 10, and then after 2 to the power 3, 2 to the 4 to the 8, and then after we can write it as x cube into a square into x to the power minus 4, right? So what we're going to get, 10 into 8, 80 a square, 80 a square over x, right? So here coefficient of 1 by x is 80 a square. So we know that the coefficient of 1 by x is going to be 720. So we can write it as 80 a square equals to 720. So we can tell it as a square equals to 720 over 80, right? So it's going to be 9 8 is 72. So it's going to be 9. So a square equals to 9 means a is going to be equal to plus minus of 3, and this is our answer. Yeah. Hence find the coefficient of 1 by x to the power 7 in the expansion, right? So how are we going to get x to the 1 by x to the power 7? So to get 1 by x to the power 7, we need to get let's give power 4 and then 1. So this is going to work, right? Yeah. So we need to distribute the power 1 by 4 in this binomial expansion. So it's going to be term in term in 1 by x to the power 7 is will be given by 5c, we need to do it as 4 into 2x to the power of what's the power, it's going to be 5 minus 4, and then after we can write it as a by x square, a by x square to the power of what's the power, yeah, it's 4, right? So we know that a equals to plus minus 3, and since we have an even power over here, it's always going to be positive, right? So it does not matter if you write plus 3 or minus 3. So let me just for the simplicity's sake, let me just write plus 3, 5c4, it's going to be 5, and then after 2 to the power 1 is 2 into x into a's value is simply, I'm going to put it as 3 over x square or to the power of 4. And what's the value of 3 to the power 4? It's just 81, and 10 into 81 into 1 over 4 into 8 minus 1 x to the power 7. Yeah, we are in the right direction. So it's just going to be 810 over x to the power 7. Therefore coefficient of 1 over x to the power 7, it's going to be 810. 810. So let me just check the answer. Yeah, it's correct. So and then after, the next question is the diagrams of the sector of AOB, which is part of a circle with center O and radius 6 cm, right? So we have a bigger circle that might look something like this, and then after this OB is simply the radius. And with angle AOB, it's given in radians 0.8. So point C on OB, this is the point C on OB, it's such that AC is perpendicular to OB. The arc CD is part of a circle with center O where D lies on OA. Okay, fine. Okay, find the area of the shaded region. So we need to find the area of this shaded region. Let me just think how we are going to find it. So how about we find the area of this sector. Let me just highlight this sector that we are going to find the area in blue. So this is the area of the sector that we are going to find out. Let me just label it properly, right? So this sector we are going to find out, and then after we are going to subtract from this bigger triangle to get the required shaded region, right? So I think everyone understands what I am going to do now. So first of all, to find the area of triangle we need base and height, right? So we have been given OB, so we need to find OC and AC, right? So what's the information given? The point C on OB is such that AC is perpendicular to OB. Okay, fine, this is perpendicular. The arc CD is part of a circle center O when D lies on OA. Let me just think what we can do. Interesting question. So what we can do is we can find the length of this arc. Yeah, we can find, but what are we going to do with the length of that arc? It's basically useless, you know. Basically what we can do is area of the shaded region, right? So for this triangle, how can we find the information? So let me just think it properly. The diagram shows the sector is part of okay, so I was just dumb for not understanding how to do this question. So basically what do we need to do is since OB is 6 centimeter, we know that OA is also going to be 6 centimeter. Let me just erase this part, right? So it's going to be 6 centimeter, and then after what do we need to do is we know that cos theta equals to base over hypotenuse. So we need to do what is cos 0.8 will going to equal to this OC over 6 centimeter, right? 6 cm. So OC is simply going to be 6 into cos 0.8, right? 6 cos 0.8. So what is it's going to be? Let me just type it in calculator. Let me just put my calculator in radian mode, and then after 6 times cos 0.8, it's going to be 4.180. It's going to be 4.18. So 0 does not matter, right? OC is going to be 4.18, and then after we can now find the area of the sector. And then before finding the area of sector, let's find the area of triangle first. So for area of triangle we need to have this we have base as well, we have hypotenuse as well. So we can do it in two ways. Either we can do AB sin theta. Let's do 1/2 AB sin theta, AB sin theta, right? So let's find the area of triangle. If the area of triangle is going to be this side multiplied by this side into sine of 0.8, right? It can be 4.18 into 6 into sine of 0.8 whole over 2, right? Yeah. So what are we going to get the area of triangle? 4.18 into 6 into sine of 0.8 over 2. So we are going to get roughly 8.99556. Yeah. And then after we are going to get the area of sector. What's the name of the sector? It's OCD. Area of sector OCD is going to be equal to half of r square theta, and we have the radius as 1/2 into 4.180 square, and then after we have theta is 0.8 radians, so we can multiply it by 0.8. So what we are going to get 1/2 into multiplied by 4.18 square into 0.8, and this is simply going to be equal to 6.98896. Then after we can subtract area of shaded region to find the area of shaded region. We can find by subtracting the area of triangle with area of sector OCD. Area of shaded region. The area of shaded region is simply going to be 8.9956 subtracted by 6.98896. So what is this going to be? 8.9956 minus 6.98896. This is going to be 2.00664. 2.00664, we can write it as 2.01 for the sake of 3 significant figures, and this is our answer. And let's see the another question. Sequence and series, nice one. A woman's basic salary for a first year with a particular company is $30,000. Basic salary for the first year, right? And at the end of the year, she also gets a bonus of $600. For our first year express, our bonus is a percentage of our basic salary. So percentage of our basic salary, it's going to be 600 over 30,000 multiplied by 100. We know how to express it in percentage, right? It's so simple. Then after, it's going to be simply 2%. At the end of each complete year, the woman's basic salary will increase by 3%. The woman's basic salary will increase by 3%. This basic salary is going to increase by 3%, and our bonus will increase by 100%. So what do we need to do is express the bonus. She will be paid at the end of 24th year. Bonus will be paid at the end of 24th year is a percentage of the basic salary paid during that year. So we need to find the percentage, right? So what can we do is, so the question is asking, we need to find three things: the basic salary at the 24th year, and then after bonus will be paid at the percent basic salary paid during that year, right? And then after, we need to find the bonus at the end of 24th year. Then after, we need to find the percentage, right? So first of all, let's find the basic salary will be given by, so let's say this was just a first term, and then after, it's going to be 24th term, right? So we need to find is 24th term. We know the formula 24th term is a plus n minus 1d. So it's simply going to be, the first term is, we have $30,000. 30,000 plus 24 minus 1 is 23 into the common difference is the basic salary increases by 3% every year. So what does it mean? Means it will increase by 3%. So it's increasing, increase by 3%. Let's do it not this way. It's a geometric progression, right? So it's a geometric progression, so we cannot do it this way, because since it increases by 3% every year, it means that respect to the previous year, right? So let's say this was first term, then after that it will be increased by 3%, right? So it's going to be a plus 3% means 0.03a, and then after, the second term is going to be it's 3%, right? Which will be given by a plus 0.03a plus what's a plus 0.03? 1 plus 0.03 is 1.03, right? So we need to find the 1.03, the 3%, which will be given by 1.03 into 3 over 100. We get 0.0309. This is just geometric progression, because if you see like the first term by second term, and then after third term over second term, it's going to be a constant. So what, let's just verify it. T2 over T1 is going to be 1.03 over 1. This is going to be 1.03, and then after, when we divide it by T3 over T2, the term 2 is going to be let's just add 1.03 at it, plus 1.03, 0.0309 plus 1.03. We are simply going to get 1.0609. When we divide 1.0609 over 1.03, we are going to get 1.03. 1.0609 divided by 1.03. Yeah, we get 1.03. So whenever the salary increases like this in a progression, we get a geometric progression, right? So basically, what do we need to do is, we need to do geometric progressions formula. So what is this going to be? It's simply going to be AR to the power of n minus 1, right? Then after, the common difference is just 1.03. So whenever the percentage is given, the rule of thumb is to be adding 1 plus the percentage given. In this case, 1 plus 3 divided by 100, right? So it's simply going to be 1.03. In this way, we need to do it, right? So common difference is found this way. So when the first term is it's 30,000, 30,000 times common difference is 1.03 to the power of 23, right? So what are we going to get? The 24th term, 3123 into 1.03 to the power of 23. So we are going to get 59,207.595, yeah, 33. Let's write the whole term. And then after this is going to be basic salary. And then after what we are going to get, the bonus will increase by $100. So this is a arithmetic progression. So bonus will be given by 24th as well. This is going to be a plus n minus 1d. So in this case, our first bonus was it was $600. It was 600 plus we need to multiply by 23 into the common difference is going to be $100. So we need to add 600 plus 2300. So it's going to be $2,900. $2,900. Let's put the dollar sign. Then after percentage of bonus, percentage of bonus is bonus is percentage of basic salary. Bonus is percentage of basic salary. Percentage of bonus is basic salary is given by 2,900 over 59207.59533. This is simply going to be 2,900 over 59207.59533, and this is going to be simply and we need to multiply by 100 as well. When we multiply it by 100, we get 4.89%, 4.898%, and then after when we round it up to 3 SF, we are going to get 4.90%. This 0 is important because we have to show it in 3 significant figures, so the 0 is important over here. Yeah, this is our answer. Then after we need to express it in the form of 2x plus a whole square plus b, where a and b are constant, so it's easy, right? Let's just take 2 common. X square plus 6x plus 11 to x square plus 6x is just 2 into 3 into x, so we can write it as plus 9 square minus plus 3 square minus 3 square plus 11. So it's in the form of a square plus 2ab plus b square, so we can write it as x plus 3 whole square. Then after we have minus 9 plus 11 to x plus 3 whole square. When we open the bracket, it's going to multiply to make 18 plus 11. So this is simply going to be 2 times x plus 3 whole square minus it's going to be 7, right? And then after it is in the form of we need to write it properly. It is in form 2x plus a whole square plus b, where a equals to 3 and b equals to minus 7. And now the function is defined for x is less than or equal to negative 4. We need to find an expression for f inverse x, and we need to state the domain of f inverse x, right? So the domain is going to be simply the range of this function. And then after for f inverse x, what we can do is we can write this fx equals to 2x square plus 12x plus 11, right? So we just now express this in the form of x plus a whole square plus b, so we can write it simply as y equals to 2 times x plus 3 whole square minus 7, because this is that what we found in the previous question. Then after we can interchange the role of x and y. Interchange x and y. We get x equals to 2 times y plus 3 whole square minus 7, so x plus 7 over 2. Then after its square root with plus minus sign, it's going to be equal to y plus 3, right? I hope you understand this. Then after y is going to be simply negative 3 plus minus the square root of x plus 7 over 2. And then after we can this is what our f inverse function is. So what do we have is our function, because now the domain of the original function is going to be the range of the inverse function, right? So this means that f inverse x just simply must be less than or equal to negative 4, right? So for it to strictly be less than or equal to negative 4, what do we need is this quantity must be overall negative. So this sign must be negative, right, for the inverse function to be less than equal to negative 4. So what we can do is f inverse x is simply going to be negative 3 plus minus square root of x plus 7 over 2. Since the range of do we have extra space? No. Okay, so we haven't, right? Since the range of f inverse x is less than equal to minus 4, the function is f inverse of x should be equal to minus 3 minus of square root of x plus 7 over 2. And then after, for this function to be always less than or equal to negative 4, what we can do is this quantity, the quantity inside the square root, must always be greater than 1, or let's do it in a simpler way. Let's not use much logic over here. So at x equals to negative 4, y will be equal to 2 times minus 4 plus 3 whole square minus 7, which is going to be equal to 2 times 1 square, 2 into 1 minus 7, which is equal to 2 minus 7 is 5, minus 5. So, and then after, when at x is less than equal to minus 4, let's simply put infinity. Okay, let's say it's minus infinity, so y is going to be simply when we put a very bigger quantity, when 2 times infinity and then something whole square minus 7, it's simply going to be positive infinity, right? So our range is simply going to be the domain of f inverse is going to be the range of this function, right? So we can see that the range of this function fx is always greater than minus 5, greater than or equal to minus 5. So it means that the domain of f inverse is going to be greater than or equal to minus 5, right? Then after, domain of f inverse x is what is it? X is greater than or equal to minus 5. I hope you understand what I have done. So let me explain again. At x equals to minus 4, we are getting minus 5. So when we take some quantity when x is less than minus 4, let's take simply negative infinity to see what happens at the very extreme point. So when we put negative infinity, let me just write it properly for you to clearly understand this, what I have done. So 2 times what was the function? 3 plus 3 minus infinity, it's going to be 3 minus infinity, and then after it's whole square minus 7. So whenever we square a negative quantity, it's going to be positive quantity, and then after, when we subtract some quantity from infinity, it's just going to be infinity, right? Because if you take out 2 drops of water from ocean, it's not going to affect, right? It's the same thing. And then after, when we multiply, when we mix 2 ocean, it's still going to be ocean, right? So it's still going to be infinity. Minus 7, when we subtract some 7 drops from infinity, it's just going to be infinity, right? So it's just some big quantity. So yeah, this, because of this reason, our function hovers between minus 5 and infinity, right? So our function is simply going to be x is greater than or equal to minus 5. Let me just check the ms. Yeah, it's correct. Or we can write it this way as well. Minus 5 is included. Minus 5 is included, and then after, infinity is not included, right? And then after, the function g is defined by this. For the case where k equals to minus 1, solve the equation f of g of x equals to 193. Okay, so what is our f of x function? Let me just copy it because I don't want to write this time and again. I'm just lazy, just too lazy. First of all, we have where k equals to minus 1. Okay, we need to solve it by putting this f of g of x. So we need to put f in the gx is just 2x minus 3 equals to 193, right? And then after, we need to paste our original function. Let's just paste our original function is this. So what we need to do is 2x square plus 12x plus 11. Okay, now I remember this. Let's just copy the better half of our function. It's 2x plus 3 whole square minus 7. 2 times x plus 3, right? So in the place of x, we need to write 2x minus 3. 2x minus 3. X plus 3 whole square minus 7. This is what our function is. It's going to be 193. And after 2 times minus 10 plus 3 are going to cancel out. they are going to cancel out, and then after it's going to be 2x square, which is equal to 4x square. It's going to be 193 plus 7. What's 193 plus 7? 193 plus 7 is 200, right? Then after 8x square is going to be 200. X square is going to be 200 over 8. X square is going to be 200 over 8 is simply 25. So x is going to be equal to plus minus 25. So now be careful with the information that has been given to us originally. So for the case k equals to minus 1, right? So it means that the function g is defined for x is less than equal to minus 1. So when we construct a function f of g of x, it's going to have the domain of g of x, right? It's not going to have, no longer going to have the domain of fx, but rather of gx. So the domain of f of g of x, its domain is going to be, its domain will be x less than equal to minus 1, right? So basically what does this mean is we need to find x which is less than minus 1, but we have got here two answers, plus 25 and minus 25, but this plus 25 does not lie in our domain, so this plus 25 is rejected. Okay, so we get since the domain is what is my writing happening? Since domain is x is less than equal to minus 1, x equals to minus 25 is our only answer. Okay, I think you understand this part. This is very important. And then we have to state the largest value of k possible for the composite function fg to be formed, right? So for this what do we need to do is since this is a quadratic function, and then after the largest value of k possible for the composite function fg to be defined. So what do we have? The function fg, we have the function is it's going to be 8x square minus 7, right? And this is going to be having a function needs to be one-to-one function. So yeah, because this reason it's 1 marks. Okay, so let me just explain. Our function f of g of x is going to be, let me just write f of g of x because it's going to be important. It's going to be 2 into 4x square minus 7, which is equal to 8x square minus 7. So from this we can see that a vertex is given by 0 and positive 7, 0 and negative 7. I'm sorry, it's given by 0 and negative 7. And so this means that for our function, composite function to exist, it needs to be less than or equal to, the value of k should be less than 0, right? Less than or equal to 0, because that's going to make our function one-to-one. Let me just explain it graphically, because our function f of g of x is going to look something like this, where the vertex is 0 comma negative 7, and then after our function is defined as x is less than equal to k, right? So our x should be less than equal to k. So our largest value can be k equals to 0, right? Because of which the function will not be defined in this side, and this is not going to be a many to one function. What did I say just now? Okay, I am sorry, I just said some other I misunderstood the question. So what do we need to do actually is we need to make a composite function fg possible, right? So for composite function yeah, I'm sorry, what I explained the wrong thing. So for a composite function we need to, what do we need to do is the range of g should lie in the domain of function f, right? So the range of g should lie in the domain of function f. What the range of function g is largest value of k possible, right? So the range of g will be simply given by 2x minus 3 for x is less than equal to k, right? Then after this should lie inside of the range of the function f. Then after the range of the function f was simply, what was the range of the function f? It was greater than equal to negative 5, right? So its range should lie inside, I am sorry, it's it should lie inside the domain. So what does that mean is this our value 2x minus 3 should lie inside the domain of fx, and what the domain of x is less than equal to minus 4, right? So basically what do we need to do is we need to equate this with x is less than equal to minus 4. So 2x minus 3 should always be less than equal to negative 4. Where is negative 4? Yeah, it's negative 4. It's negative 4. Then after 2x should always be negative 4 and 3 is going to be its negative ones, and then after x should always be less than equal to negative half. So the largest possible value of k possible is going to be negative half. Then after largest k will be minus 1 by 2. Let me just plug my charger in. Okay, it's just a while. Okay, so I just plugged in my charger, and let's continue. The gradient of a curve at the point x comma y is given by dy by dx equals to this, and minus x. The curve has a stationary point at this, where a is a positive constant. So we need to find the value of a. So stationary point is given wherever the dy by dx is going to be equal to 0. So whenever 0 is equals to 2 times x plus 3 to the power of 1 by 2 minus x, minus 1 by 2, not, I'm sorry, 1 by 2 minus x. So this means that x should be equal to 2 times x plus 3 to the power of 1 by 2. Let's square on both sides to get x square equals to 4 times x plus 3. So it's simply going to be x square equals to 4x plus 4 into 3 is 12. X square minus 4x minus 12 must be equal to 0. So the possible values of x will be given by, let's solve this quadratic equation first. X square minus 4x minus 12, right? So what do we need to do is x square minus 6x plus 2x minus 12 equals to 0. X minus 6 plus 2 x minus 6 equals to 0. X plus 2 x minus 6 equals to 0. So x equals to minus 2 and 6. At x equals to minus 2, what's the value of y? Y will be given by, so we need to find y as well, where a is a positive. Okay, so question has said a is a positive constant, right? So a must be 6, right? Because these are the possible values of x. So therefore a equals to 6 is our answer. Am I correct? Yeah, a equals to 6. And determine the nature of the stationary point. So for the nature of stationary point, we need to find the second derivative. So let's find the second derivative. The second derivative is d2y by dx square, which is equal to, the second derivative of this will be given by we need to apply chain rule, right? So 2 times 1 by 2 times x plus 3 to the power 1 by 2 minus 1 into, and then after differentiation inside is simply 1, so and this does not matter, and then after minus differentiation x is 1. So this 2 and 2 are going to cancel, and then after we are going to have this function as x plus 3 to the power of minus 1 by 2 minus 1, right? So what do we have? The second derivative is 1 over x plus 3 whole square, right? So we need to find the nature of stationary point at 6 comma 14. So at x equals to 6, d2y by dx square is going to be equal to minus 1 plus 1 over 6 plus 3 whole square, and this is going to be how much will it be? Minus 1 plus it's going to be minus 1 plus 1 over 9, which is a negative quantity, Therefore the stationary point is going to be maximum, right? Because whenever the second derivative is positive, we get minimum, and whenever the stationary point our second derivative is negative, we get a maximum. The stationary point is a maximum at maximum. It's just a maximum. Yeah. Then after it's we are just solve 10b. So let me check the answer of 10b. It's maximum. I'm correct. And then we need to find the equation of the curve. So for equation of curve, what we can do is we can integrate this equation, right? So when we integrate, what's the function? 2 over x plus 3 to the power 1 by 2. X plus 3 to the power 1 by 2 minus x. We need to integrate this. So its integration is given by 2 times 1 by 2 plus 1 is simply 3 by 2. Then after x plus 3 to the power 3 by 2, and when we divide it by 3 by 2, we are just getting 2 by 3, right? And then after the integration of x is going to be x square over 2. So our function becomes 4 by 3 x plus 3 to the power 3 by 2 minus x square over 2 plus c, not forget plus c. Then after, to find the value of c, we can find at the point 6 comma 14, 6 comma 14, at 6 comma 14, 14 equals to 4 over 3, 6 plus 3 to the power 3 over 2 minus so let me continue, minus x is 6, so 6 square is simply 36 over 2 plus constant, right? So to find the value of c, 14 plus 18 will be equal to 4 over 3 times 9 to the power 3 over 2 plus constant. And then after, it's going to be something, let me just put it in calculator. 18 plus 14 minus 4 over 3 times 9 to the power 3 over 2. C will be simply, C is going to be minus 4. Yeah, this is our answer. So basically our equation becomes, therefore y is equal to 4 over 3 x plus 3 to the power 3 by 2 minus x square by 2 minus 4 is the required equation, right? This is the required equation. And then after, let's move on to next question. Solve this equation for theta from x to 180. So this is a quadratic equation in tan, right? So let me just find 3 minus 5 and minus 2. So we need to factor it as so the 2 and minus 1 by 3, so it means it is a 6, and minus 1 we need to break it in 6 and minus 6 and 1. 3 tan square x minus 6 tan x plus tan x minus 2 equals to 0. So we can take 3 tan x common. It's going to be tan x minus 2 plus 1 times tan x minus 2, which will be equal to 0. 3 tan x plus 1 times tan x minus 2 equals to 0, right? So either the tan x will be equal to 2 or tan x will be equal to negative 1/3, right? So when tan x equals to 2, x will be equal to tan inverse of 2, which is roughly equal to tan, let me put my calculator now in degree mode because we need the answer in degree. And then after, tan inverse of 2 is simply 63.43 degrees. And then after, x equals to tan inverse of negative 1/3, which will be equal to, let me just find out tan inverse negative 1/3. It says okay, so let's find the reference angle first. So we know that tan inverse of negative 1/3, according to Castrol, we need to find it in the this axis, right? So let's find out the reference angle. Tan inverse of 1 by 3 is 18.43 degrees. So basically what I need to do is 180 minus 18.43 degrees, right? This is going to be 180 minus 18.43. This gives 161.56 degrees. Am I correct? 160, just a minute, 161.56 degrees. So our answer lies in the range, right? So therefore x equals to 63.4 degrees and 161.6 degrees, right? These are our answer. And then after, find the set of value of k for which has no solution. For this equation to have no solution, its discriminant must be less than 0, right? Because this is going to give us imaginary solutions, which basically means no solution. So for no solution, discriminant, or we can say b square minus 4ac must be less than 0, right? So this means that we need to find b square minus 4ac. What's b? It's negative 5, so negative 5 square minus 4 into a is 3 and c is k, should be less than 0. 25 minus 4 is 12k is less than 0, therefore 12k must be greater than 25. and then after k must be greater than 25 over 12, right? So this is our answer. K must be greater than 25 over 12. And then after, for are we in the last page? How many questions are left? Let me just check it fast and quick. Okay, so this is the question. So it's just one question left. For the question, state the value of k for which there are 3 solutions in the interval and find these solutions. Oh my, okay, we need 3 solutions. So this means that this there should be 3 solutions, right? For which condition it's going to have 3 solutions? So basically in this type of question, the value of k should be equal to 0. So when k equals to 0 is the answer. So whenever k equals to 0, so it's going to be 3 tan square x minus 5 tan x equals to 0, right? So basically our 3 tan square x will be equal to 5 tan x, or maybe we can do it simply by not writing this line, and then after we can do it as we can take tan x common. Then after we can write tan x will be equal to 3 tan x minus 5 will be equal to 0. So either tan x will be equal to 0, and then after x will be equal to tan inverse of 0. So this gives 0 and 180 degrees. So because of this reason I have taken k equals to 0, so that the tan x can be equal to 0, and we can get two values from this. And then after, or we can, what we can do is 3 tan x, this is the second equation, will be equal to 5 tan x equals to 5 over 3, x equals to tan inverse 5 over 3, right? So basically this equals to roughly what does it equal to? Tan inverse 5 over 3 equals to 59.04 degrees. 59 point, we can write 59.0 degrees because we need to write it in 3 significant figures. It's the minimum. So basically let me explain again why I have written k equals to 0, because we have been given the interval of 0 to 180 degree, and then after this is a quadratic equation, right? So no matter what shall we do, we are always going to get the two values of tan x, right? We are going to get tan x is equals to either a, or tan x is going to be equals to either b, right? So in the interval of 0 and 180, there is only the value whenever the x can be 0 or 180 to get the answer, right? So when let's understand with the Cartesian graph. So this is our x-axis and this is our y-axis, right? Let me make it straight. So there is only one value of tan x. Whenever tan x is equal to 0, we are going to get two possible values in these two quadrants, right? So whenever at this point tan x might be equal to 0, or whenever tan x equals to 0. So because of this reason I have taken x k equals to 0. So in this type of question the value of k shall always be equal to 0, because in such questions, right? So if the question was regarding cos, so we know when the cos is equals to 1 and 0. So let me just think about it, right? So what we need to do for cos, so we know that cos 0 equals to 1, and then after cos of minus 180 also equals to, cos of 180 also equals to 1, right? Am I correct? I don't think so. Cos of 180 equals to negative 1. Okay, I'm not correct. Okay, so it works for sine and tan, and for cos we need some different interval for which we can get 3 solutions, right? We will discuss about it in some next videos. So then so we have the values of x0, 180 and 59.0 degrees. So let's do the last question for today. Diameter of a circle C1 has endpoints at -3, -5 and 7, 3. Find an equation of circle, right? So we have these endpoints, so we can find a midpoint, which is going to be the center of center, obviously. So the midpoint is going to be -3 plus 7 over 2 times -5 by plus 3 over 2, right? It's going to be 4 over 2 is 2, and then after -2 over 2 is -1, then after radius is going to be, let's just find radius square. We don't need radius, right? So we can do is x7 plus 3 square, and then after 3 plus 5 square. So it's going to be 10 square, which is 100, plus 5, 6, 8, 8 are 64. So it's simply going to be 164, right? So equation is given by x minus 2 whole square. Let's say y equals to x minus 2 whole square. No, I'm sorry. Equation is given by x minus 2 whole square plus y minus y plus 1 whole square is equals to 164. So this is our required equation. Let me check the if it's correct answer or not. Let me just scroll the marking scheme. I think it's the correct answer. My laptop is lagging, just wait a minute. It should be 41. So have I done any mistake? I think I have done some mistake over here. 7 plus 3 square is 10, and then after 10 square is 100. x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square, right? What have I done? 2 minus 3. Oh, I need to find the radius, but I found the diameter, right? So I'm sorry. So I find out the diameter square, so I need to find radius. So this is not how we do it. So the radius square is simply given by radius square is given by let's take 7 minus 2 whole square plus 3 plus 1 square. 5 square is 25, and after 4 square is 16. 25 plus 16 is 41, right? So it should be 41 over here. Then after the circle C1 is translated by 8 to 4 to give circle, and we need to find the equation of the circle C2, right? The circle is translated by 8 4, so we can use the knowledge of functions. So we have the original equation of C1, x minus 2 whole square plus y plus 1 whole square plus y plus 1 whole square equals to 41, right? So what we used to do is when y equals to fx, so we used to do is when it is translated by 8 comma 4, we used to do was y equals to f of x minus 8 plus 4, right? So we need to apply the same logic over here. So what do we need to do is it should be, our answer should be, so it should be let's just translate the center, I guess, because the radius is going to be same. So let's not we can do it this way as well. So it's going to be 8 minus 2 is 10, and after it's going to be minus 4. Okay, right? So what do we need to do is let's not complicate things for circle, because although we can do this, I will have to explain it separately, which I do not want to do. So let's just translate the center. Okay, so whenever we translate the center from here to here by this translation vector, center is going to be when it is translated by this translation vector, we need to add these, right? So we need to add these two vectors. So what is the our center? It's 2 minus 1, and we need to add by translation 8 comma 4 to get the center. New center is going to be 10 3, right? So the equation of circle will be given by x minus 10 square plus y minus 3 square, which will be equal to 41, because the radius is going to be same, because it has not been stretched or expanded, right? The two circles intersect at the point R and S, so that the equation of the line RS is this interesting. Okay, so we need to show that the two circles intersect at the point these, we need to find these 2 points, 2 points of intersection. For this we need to solve these two equations, yeah, right? We need to find the equation of the line RS, right? And then after, what do we know is what we can do is we need to find the gradient of the joining centers. So it's an interesting question. So what do we need to know is this circle has been translated by the translation vector 8 4, right? So these 2 points will also have their gradients in the same, right? So it's going to be 4 divided by 8. So the gradient between the points R and S is going to be just 4 over 8. Gradient of RS will be equal to 4 over 8, which will be equal to 1 over 2. Just think about it, right? Because the circle has been translated by this point side, so it should be this, right? Because they are passing through the same point, and after the translation vector is just like that. So the gradient of RS is 1 over 2, and so we need to find the equation of line RS, right? So for this what we can do is, what do we know is, because this midpoint of line, the midpoint of these two will be passing through RS, because yeah, it's going to pass. So midpoint of these two centers. So the midpoint of these two centers is given by 10 divided by 2 and 3/2. No, what do we need to do is we need to find we need to subtract these points. Then after we need to find the midpoint of line. So what is going to be the midpoint of the line? Okay, so we need to find the midpoint between the, let's say this point is P. So we need to find we already have the slope of OP, so we need to find the now midpoint of OP. So now midpoint of OP is given by average of these two centers. So it's 10 plus 2/2 and 3 minus 1/2. So it's going to be I'm sorry, I wrote gradient of RS. It should be gradient of OP. Then after the midpoint of OP is going to be 6,1. You can find it. So the equation of the line RS will be given, because this is simply going to be perpendicular. And then after the equation of RS will be y minus 1 equals to minus 2 x minus 6, because when these are perpendicular, the gradient is going to be like m1 into m2 equals to minus 1, so it's going to be minus 1 over m, right? So minus 1 over m is simply minus 2. So our equation of the circle becomes y minus 1 equals to minus 2x plus 12. 2x plus y, we need to find it in y equals to mx plus c form, minus 2x plus 13, right? So this is our required equation of RS. And now we need to show that the x coordinate of RNS satisfy the equation. Okay, fine. Again, the x coordinates of RNS satisfy the equation, right? So the x coordinates of RNS on the x coordinates of RNS is given by the circle. X coordinates of R and S, where are the points R and S? So the x coordinates of RNS is over here. Then after, what do we need to do is we need to equate these two circles, right? When we equate these two circles, we are going to get the possible values of RNS, so we are going to get that equation. And when we simplify the equation, we are going to get, so that we get, right? So the equation of circle C1 is equation of C1 equals to is it's what is the equation? X minus 2 whole square plus y plus 1 whole square. So basically what we can do is we can simply equate 41, or maybe we can eliminate y, right? So equation of C1 is x minus 2 whole square plus y plus 1 whole square equals to 41. So what we can do is 41 minus x minus 2 whole square minus square root, then after, and it's a square root. Or maybe we can do it in a much better way, you know. The equation of C1 is simply this, and then after, from equation of C2, and after we do have the line equation, right? So basically y equals to minus 2x plus 13. So we can put this value, right? So y equals to minus 2x plus 13, minus 2x plus 13. So what we can do is we can put this value of y over here, x minus 2 whole square plus minus 2x plus 13 plus 1 square equals to 41. X minus 2 whole square plus minus 2x plus 14 square equals to 41. When we open the brackets, x square minus 4x plus 4 plus 4x square, and after it's going to be minus 14 into 2 into 2, it's going to be minus 56. Minus 56x plus 14 square is what's 14 square? It's 196 plus 196 equals to 41. So basically this is going to be 5x square minus 60x plus 159 equals to 0. Thus proved, right? So basically this is the end of the video. So yeah, thank you for watching.